Hello and welcome to the Last Ditch podcast. Today I am joined by Adam, my
Hello.
cousin, and we will be ranking our top five with a special edition of the greatest comebacks in football history. So we had to go through quite a bit, didn't we, to work this out because there was a lot of we didn't want to be too biased. This is in our opinions. When we've either seen them back, watched them, we've gone. This has got to be like up there with the best. So I know a lot of people. You kind of went through for what's the end goal bar when within a football match. How did you go?
Like the odds.
Yeah, of course. So I think we'll just crack on straight away. Did you send me? You sent me yours, did you?
Yep.
So tell you what, we'll let the guest go first. So we'll let you.
Are we going to start from number one or?
We'll go from number five because then we
Go
build
from
up.
5.
If you get number one, everyone will be like, "Sweet, cheers, see you later, I'm away. Thanks very much."
So my number 5 is Man City versus QPR, 2012. I think 2-1 down, 85 minutes, 90 minutes in, still 2-1 down, and to win it 3-2 to then win the league. I think it's got to be in my top 5. As much as you probably don't like that.
Yeah, I think I get why people would pick that. Obviously because I mean that's not actually in my top 5 for obvious reasons. No, genuinely to be fair, I actually looked at like the 5 I've picked. I personally thought that it was a better comeback than what it was because for me, I look and go QPR. You're at home. You should be. They should have been beating them. Yes, the end goal was brilliant, but I has not a chance in hell I am putting someone that knocked Man U from winning the league in my top 5. That's literally. I was between them, so I thought, fuck off.
Yeah, I definitely agree that obviously everyone thought, oh yeah, they'll beat QPR at home, but then I think you're never guaranteed to win any game. I think it was what was at stake really. You know, it was the league title. You know, if they'd have drawn, Man U would have won.
Well, this is football. You're not guaranteed to win. You know, you're not unless you're playing our 5-a-side team. I think I have more broken legs than wins. I actually think I do. I think we won 1 win, 1 broken leg. Thank you very much. Retired. Thank you. My number 5 was Newcastle versus Arsenal. The 4-4 game.
Yes.
Obviously, Arsenal 4-0 up at half time. Completely buried. I mean, if you're a Geordie, you were away at half time. Probably there's a lot of them were gone. See you later. But I think that was absolutely insane. I mean, that's a really good. I know they obviously didn't win it, but to be 4-0 down to then get. I mean, I think for me that has got to be up there with. Well, obviously, clearly why I put it in number 5. I think.
Yeah, I mean,
it's just an insane result, really.
Imagine going home at half time and even halfway home and like, oh my god, it's 4-2 or 4-3.
Oh.
You'd be like, oh my god, get me back in there.
you couldn't honestly. There's certain like games that you watch and you think, oh my god, could you imagine if you'd left? I mean, like there's a story, like I don't know how true it is, but the Man United final, the treble, George Best was like, I can't watch this, I need to leave, when they were 1-0 down. And then they heard the goal, he's like, let us back in, I need to get back in. Like, I don't know how true that is, I've heard that from a lot of people on documentaries or whatever, and I thought, my god, I mean, he'd get back in easily, but if you weren't, and you were trying to desperately get back in, you'd be like, oh my god, but yeah, so I've got that as my number 5. I'll let you pick your number 4.
Yep. So for me, my number 4 is Man U, Bayern Munich.
The game we were just talking about.
The one we were just on about. I think. What have you got to say? Last minute winner. Yeah.
It's an unreal as well. It's like how much you kind of. United had everything. For that game, that was like, I think, and Bayern were going for the treble as well. So it was both the treble was on the line for both teams, but it was just never before done by an English side, and I think it was just, God, my dad would have watched that, and I said to him, if I'd watched that when, if I'd been my age watching that, I genuinely think I would have had a heart attack. I honestly, because, completely straight, because like that's just absolutely unbelievable stuff like that. Like you just, it's in moments in football you don't really take into account of how you look back now and you go, oh my God, that is arguably one of the. I mean, there's other games we're going to mention, but that one for United fans anyway.
For the biggest club competition in the world.
Yeah.
I mean, to win it against, it wasn't even like a team that you thought, they're probably going to win. It's Bayern Munich,
and they've been beaten by Bayern in the group earlier on in the season. Yeah. You think, God, you were coming up against it absolutely. Like as much as United were going for the treble, I actually probably think there were slight underdogs in that game to some extent. But I've gone with. We probably have gone with a bit of bias. My third and fourth was either or, and I went with my heart. Well, I put Bayern Munich, Man United in third. I'll just say who I put in third first, so we can carry on with that. Just like because for me, I thought it's that kind of like that was the year I was born as well. Actually, 1999, so it was a good year for me, Dad.
Lucky year.
Lucky year. But for number 4, I went with. No, I will get stick for this, but I don't give a shit. Liverpool versus AC Milan. Now, I was going to go with Liverpool, AC Milan in third or fourth. Again, with like Man U Bayern, them two either way around. And I just went with Man U Bayern because they ended up winning the treble. It was obviously the last minute, but that's not taking away anything from Liverpool. I mean, Jesus Christ, that to be 3-0 down to arguably one of the greatest AC Milan sides ever.
And speaking about the year you were born, that was the year my sister was born.
Well, there you go. Clearly, both our dads had good years in 99 and 2005.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's just one of them kind of things. Obviously, like you'll speak about it more in depth with Liverpool and stuff, but it's kind of like completely against the odds. And I think, to be honest, it was almost like Jamie Carragher spoke about it not so long ago, saying it was almost like damage control at half time. He was like, right, what can we do to not get hammered?
Yeah.
And it wasn't like they're going for the win or we're going to get back in this game. It was we need to stop getting hammered here by like 5, 6, 7-0. And I mean, Steven Gerrard, captain, probably rallied the troops, and obviously Xabi Alonso. And
I mean, you look at that AC Milan side, some of the players they had in there.
Oh,
it was some probably their best side ever, to be honest.
So they had Shevchenko, they had Pirlo.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
Pirlo, Maldini.
Yeah. Was Kaká there at that time or not?
Or was it Ronaldinho? No, I think it was Kaká.
Was it Kaká?
Yeah.
But honestly, I mean, but Pirlo in itself, I mean, Pirlo.
Tell you who else he had? Crespo. They had him up front with.
And in nets, what's his name? The lad that looks like Mbappe.
Yeah.
I you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh God, I can't think of his name for the life of us. But yeah, basically in all, like an AC Milan side that arguably, and I think realistically, to be honest, Liverpool probably shocked to even get there because in the league they've been shocking.
Yeah.
And they were probably very lucky to get to the Champions League final because they faced a very good Chelsea side this was under Mourinho, who they would arguably you probably would have thought it'd be Chelsea AC Milan final and then you would go, wow, that's a really big game. But Liverpool probably got there and thought, wow, we're here and let's try and make something. And they made arguably the greatest night in Liverpool history.
Obviously, that night, 100% Liverpool were underdogs. I mean, AC Milan, like we've already said, their team. I mean, what they'd done in Europe that year.
Yeah,
they were a good side.
It is a good side, and it's probably a bit like with AC Milan now. You look at them, and obviously they're still a very big side, a powerhouse of Italian football, but they're not as. It's like Man United, in a sense. You know, to Barcelona, another one that. Once upon a time, there were these massive teams. You know, I wouldn't say club because they still are big clubs, but massive teams. And nowadays they're not. You know, like Barcelona don't do anything in Europe, and they used to be. You'd get Barcelona, and you'd be like, "Well, we're going out. See you later. Let's just pack our bags."
Yeah, I mean, obviously Barcelona have had a lot of troubles with debt and that, so that's obviously hindered them. I mean, I still think they're a very good team,
but not to the level that they were.
No,
you know, and they're not as. If you get like when we last season, Man U got them in the Europa League, like playoff thing to get into the round 16.
Yeah.
I mean that's like a Champions League final itself. Like what was about 12 years ago.
Yeah.
And like, but you look and go, I was like, I'm not fazed by Barcelona now. Whereas
like,
if you got them back in 2016, 15, you'd be like, oh,
sugar.
Yeah, we are down. Like, so I'll let you go on to number 3. We're on to now, aren't we?
So. For number 3,
it's funny because we've got a lot of the same kind of games, but just in different orders. I think
Yeah.
your number 3. I won't say it, but I want just you say yours.
I could have put it higher, but it's probably a bit biased. My 1 and 2, but you know, it is what it is. Number 3, I've got Barcelona PSG.
Yeah.
I think that was some
Speaks for
game.
itself, doesn't it?
I mean, the last goal especially when that, I can't remember, is it Sergio Roberto or something, the
Sergio
right back,
Roberto,
and he went and scored, and yeah, it was mental watching the
Yeah.
scenes at New Camp. I mean, I've actually been to New Camp, and like just to imagine what it'd have been like in there.
Was it 90,000 they'd have had in there?
Yeah.
Plus, and you think that place would have been absolutely a cauldron, an eruption.
Yeah.
4-0 down in the first leg, dead and buried. You're not coming back from that. No side ever has come back after losing 4-0 in the first leg.
Yeah.
And then Barcelona, there was just, I remember watching it thinking, I think they could do this. I said to my dad, I went, if they get early goals, they're on it. Like, because all you need is like 2 early goals in the first half, and then you just got right. I know it sounds easier than it said, but you're at home. 2 goals is nothing, especially for Barcelona in that.
I mean, obviously Barcelona started scoring, but then PSG got one back, got one back, and then it was like,
what was the score? Was it 3-0? So there were 1 goal off, and then PSG scored.
4-0 first leg.
Yeah, but I'm saying, did Barcelona get 3 goals back and then Cavani
yeah, it went
scored?
3-1, yeah.
So then they were like, complete, because that was the away goal that they needed.
And
knocked it out, and then
it was like, oh, surely they're not going to come back now.
It was a free kick, Neymar, unreal free kick.
Yeah.
A penalty. Again, I think Neymar took the second penalty because Messi took the first, and then Suarez won the penalty. Sorry, and then Neymar. Honestly, I think it's about 20 seconds left of the game. Loops it in, and just Sergio Roberto just taps it in, and I remember edge of my seat like that. Oh, sorry, that's it, like the edge of my seat, and I went absolutely bonkers. Like, I went absolutely mad. You'd think I was a Barcelona fan myself. I was just absolutely. It was such a good game for them. Like I thought, Christ, if you were a Barcelona fan, I mean, if you were in that stadium, you'd be coming out with like limbs all over the fucking place, wouldn't you? You wouldn't have a clue. But that is. For me, that has to be higher, but I get why you've...
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely in my top 3. It was just what order I was sort of putting them. I could have swapped it with my next one.
So that was your number 3?
That was my number 3.
Yeah, so my number 3 is Bayern Munich versus Man United in '99.
Yeah.
We've already gone over that, so we don't need to say about that again. But that's just... like that's another game, like being a fan of that kind of that time.
Yeah.
Especially in like them big moments that you kind of just go... That's like magical night that you just kind of, you don't even, you'll probably lose all kind. You probably won't even know where you were if you're in that stadium. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, so my number 2 is, thanking you very much for falling over microphone. My number 2 is Liverpool versus Barcelona in 2019. That was an incredible. I know I probably used incredible or unreal so many times for this video, but genuinely these comebacks was like sensational. Like that game, I remember watching that in my room, and I remember thinking to myself, I watched the first leg, and I thought he's got absolutely humped. I thought, wow, when Messi scored that free kick, because I knew it was
that was some free kick.
How many goals? Was that his 600th goal he was to score? Because I remember he stepped up and I thought he's definitely going to score.
Well,
I thought you'll score a min goal.
How far he was out as well. It was like
right in the top corner. Know what you could have done there.
Against Alisson as well, who had a good season that year.
Yeah, and it was. But then there was that point at the end, wasn't it? Dembele.
Yeah.
And he didn't finish it, and Messi was a bit like.
I was going to say that.
Yeah.
If he'd have scored that, you know, could you have seen Liverpool maybe scoring 5 at Anfield? I mean, 4 was already a big ask as it was, but especially when you didn't have Salah, you didn't have Firmino, we had Origi up front, we had Shaqiri up front, we had, I think it was Henderson.
Yeah, Jordan Henderson.
Ronaldo came off the bench.
And scored.
Yeah, he did.
Scored 2 for you, didn't he?
No, he did.
So,
scored a header.
But honestly, that was the season. That season was unbelievable with champions. You had Man U PSG, you had that one, Liverpool Barcelona, you had Tottenham Ajax, Tottenham Man City.
Yeah.
The game before. Do you know, just saying that Tottenham Ajax, I knew there was another game, and I've just remembered that, and I probably could have added that in But that's maybe a bit of a special mention. But that was another game that I was like,
I was
mental when
Yeah.
Spurs scored that last minute. I did go mental because I was
Lucas Moura.
Yeah, I wanted them in the final because it's like an English side to support, isn't it? But I'm going to be honest, it's probably the first time ever, I've never done before, never done since, that I actually probably wanted Liverpool to beat Barcelona.
Yeah.
Not that I wanted to get beaten this final, but I just thought to myself, I thought Barcelona, again we've said it, I think they're so cocky. They get a few goals up or whatever, or they've been in games and they're like, whatever. And this is my goal. I know we'll go into a different another time, but the GOAT debate for me, with Messi, Ronaldo, I look at Messi right there. He was 3-0 up and he did nothing. Even when you just goal, and he just didn't do anything. And he was like, he didn't grab the game, whereas Ronaldo used to grab games against Atletico Madrid, against Juventus. You know, these games when he was like, you need to step up, and he would. I mean, that's the only difference, really.
Obviously, we'll never know, but you put Ronaldo in that side, does it change the result? I don't know if it does.
Well, this is it, of course. You can't say, because you say, well, if you put Ronaldo in there, do you score more in the first leg to seal it? Yeah. Do you score less? Do you score just 2, but then that's enough to take you over the line?
Yeah,
you have no idea. It's one of them debates. They're the greatest footballers ever.
Yeah.
And you'll always have a debate because it's what you look for in a footballer, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's all speculation whether if you put him in there, you know, does it change the result? Obviously, you never know,
but that was really when Trent really named Trent. I mean, obviously he was around, but I mean that moment. How he was just so quick, just corner taking
quick. Origi.
I mean, to be fair to Origi, that finish. If that game propelled into me, I would have thought, shit.
It was
on the half turn, and he was like, he put it right in the corner, and they were all there like, what the Barcelona? They'd gone. Their arse had fallen out at I think 3-0. I think they thought, shit, and then it was like when they got that fourth one, it was just like that's it, game done. Because the thing with Anfield is when that place is rocking, you haven't got a chance. You don't. You know what I mean? It was like when I know since Man U Liverpool 7-0.
Yeah.
As soon as Man U went 2-0 down, that was it, game over, because the players had lost their head and Anfield was on it. And that's why it went just pelted, because they were wanting like blood. It was horrible to watch.
I think if it was other way around...
You've got them at number 2 as well. We've both got Liverpool, Barcelona at number 2.
Yeah, I know, I said that.
Oh, did you? Sorry, I didn't realise.
Yeah, that's my number 2. But, yeah.
We've both got a number 1 that we both mentioned previously.
Yeah.
So I'll say my first one, then you can have your glory. So I went with Barcelona PSG because I think that is arguably the greatest ever. That is when anyone says football and comeback, that one comes to my head straight away, and I thought that has to be number 1 for me. Because I mean, with 6 goals are scored, like I know that you might say they're at home, but to score 6 goals and also get that absolute stomach punch from Cavani scoring an away goal. And I just think that time was peak Neymar, I think, around that area. You know, how Peter, like, and then he left to go to PSG.
Yeah.
And I think he should have stayed at Barcelona. His career has never been the same, really. And I thought I loved watching Neymar. He was arguably one of the greatest players at that time, you know, in the world, the best players, sorry. I mean, he was up for Ballon d'Ors and stuff, wasn't he? And then he went to PSG, and his career went down probably because he's not in as much watched league, really, and it's not as competitive, people might say, but it is true. And I think Mbappe needs to leave PSG to really, whether he goes to Real Madrid or whether he goes to the Premier League, he needs to do one of the two.
I don't think he'll go to the Premier League. Not yet.
Not yet, no.
I think Real Madrid's calling.
It's Haaland's going to end. Haaland or Mbappe will end up at. Could you imagine Mbappe and Haaland both at Real Madrid? That'd just be like, right,
what?
I'm Bellingham.
Mbappe.
Vinicius, Mbappe, Haaland and Bellingham used to be like, well, thanks for letting me watch football for 24 years.
Just shake it around and say, yep, there you go. They can have the Champions League for the next 10 years.
And they'd be like, thank you so much for letting me watch football for this amount of time. It is now done.
That would be ridiculous. I mean, Haaland...
Yeah, it's still recording. I'll shit myself in.
Is it?
Yeah, it is. It just frozen. That was a bit of a scare then. I thought, oh my god.
Well, just
could you imagine? But then anyway, you're number 1. I mean, obviously Barcelona. We'll kind of rumble on a bit, but Barcelona, PSG was my number 1.
Yep.
Your number 1.
Liverpool, AC Milan.
Is it? I thought you'd go there.
No,
it's self-explanatory. You've got it. I could have easily said Man U, Bayern, but I kind of thought there was. Look, I could have been biased. I could have said Man U Bayern. I could have put Man U
I
Bayern
mean-
at second, but I just thought the Liverpool Barcelona one and the PSG one,
Yeah.
they really did shock me. And look, probably if I'd been in the moment and watched the game, I probably would. If I'd been born around like before '99, I probably would have said that as number one because I can only imagine the emotion that must have been like. But these were games that I watched and stuff like that. But yeah, Liverpool, AC Milan, it's self-explanatory for you, really, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, like I say, my top three was quite close. I probably could have put them in, either order, the top three, but I don't know. Like, my only thing is, did Barcelona win it that season or not?
What was that for? Sorry.
When they had the comeback, 6-1, did they go on to
No,
win the
they
Champions
actually,
League?
funny enough, right? They lost in the next round to Roma, and
Oh, yeah,
Barcelona
they did.
were like 4-0 up or something, were
They
they
did,
not?
yeah.
Aye, and then Roma came back against them. So but I just think for that moment, that game, that for me, I just always think that is incredible.
Yeah, I mean, obviously now against that, but
if we were going for winning trophies, Man United's number one for me. Then the Man U
Yeah.
treble, and then it's Liverpool, AC Milan second.
yeah.
But if we're going for just game, then that
Yeah,
goes
I
up.
mean,
That's why I've picked.
I mean,
it.
obviously, I sort of went more what was the end result,
Yeah,
and you sort of went,
the game, the
the
actual game. Yeah,
which that's two different
yeah,
takes.
because
on
of
it.
different opinions. That's what it's all about.
But yeah, I think AC Milan, Liverpool, it was just mint, wasn't it?
Well, no. Wait, oh, so mint. I loved it. Aye, thanks. Cheers.
Oh, I
Yeah,
thought you
Pure
would've
loved
said
it.
that.
I remember that. I can't do knee slides in the living room. Get on. No. Right. So we've got two added kind of special mentions, kind of thing for like what we thought was not in the top, not good enough to be in the top five, but something that was a bit kind of special, I guess, or something that you kind of go that which deserves a special mention.
Yeah.
So are you going with the one you have? Are you having a change of?
No,
mind?
I'll stick with the one
You're
that
gonna
I've put down. I mean, obviously we have already mentioned it.
Yeah.
Newcastle, Arsenal. I think, obviously, you've already gone into it, but obviously it was just in the Premier League. They just got a point out of it, but for the actual comeback itself, I mean, 4 goals. They were 4-0 down at half time.
Yeah.
And especially that the fourth one from Newcastle, where he hits it from edge of the box.
I mean, the balls you must start to just think, fuck it, I mean,
No, just gone for it.
because a lot of players now be like, I can't hit that,
Yeah.
and you just think, no, you sometimes you hit it, you're hoping it's in,
Yeah.
But the thing for me was with my pick, I was thinking of the ones I'm thinking, what one stands out for me, a comeback that I go, oh, that was unreal, and it's gonna be one that I remember exactly where I was, and it was class. I had a £1 bet on this at half time. They were losing 2-0, and I put £1 on. They were 100 to 1. Put £1 on, 100 quid. So in the money, boys. And it is Manchester City versus Manchester United in 2018. This was under Jose Mourinho, and it basically meant if Man City won that game, they would win the league. So I mean, talk about pressure. Not only is it Manchester derby, it's to win a league at the ground, and I think United have to give them a guard of honour, which was like horrible. And they obviously Vincent Kompany got the first, and then Gundogan got the second. That first half was terrifying because it was like, we are going to get pumped here, like seriously badly, because it was just they were knocking it round easy. Second half comes out, and a Paul Pogba masterclass, which to be honest was never very rarely said.
I was gonna say.
Came out with his blue hair. Bang, got one back. It was like, it was a bit of, I can't remember who crossed into him. He gets it, knocks it round, and takes it. Edison kind of wipes him out, but he gets the goal. Then the second one is like whips into him, and he just knocks it on. And he got the second. I remember watching, thinking, shit, up, get in. And then Chris Smalling, oh my God, we got a free kick, and he got whipped in. See, when he scored that, I nearly did backflips. I just thought, honestly, emotion, that was unbelievable. That I don't know, people might go, it meant fuck all. No, it did, because United, like, let's be real, United were, well, still aren't really, but like, I mean, that team was not supposed to beat Man City that day.
Well,
and to be 2-0 up, and they're all giving it, oh, we're going to beat United at half time, fucking have it. Have it, you plastic bastards. You know, I'll just say fucking. No, but it's class. It's class. Them kind of games, especially against your big, like your second biggest rival. Like
Yeah,
you know,
especially when you beat them 7-0 at home.
what did you beat City at? Oh, 7-0. Yeah, but no, this is no, it's one of them kind of games that I always look at and think, yeah, I absolutely love that. And I was with like my best pal Pat, and I remember me and him just being like, that is one thing we always think back on a game we wanted. That and the Man U PSG game, them two games in recent memory, class games for us that we think of like a comeback of such,
Yeah.
you know. But yeah, so I think that kind of wraps up where we finished off. So hopefully you've enjoyed this week's episode, guys. It's a bit of a mini episode. We have got guests lined up, so we're kind of trying to do a few mini episodes for you, so then we can get the longer ones out, and you can have these to kind of just have in your ears on Spotify, or just watch them while you're making food, sat on the toilet, whatever you're doing. But don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment any ideas you want, message us on Instagram through the Last Ditch Podcast Insta, and let us know anything you want us to cover or anything you'd like us to talk about. And I think that's it. Thank you, Adam, for coming on. You'll most likely see Adam a bit more regularly, I think, because you'll be happy to come on, aren't you?
Yeah.
We used to talk about, honestly, we used to do combined 11s at work. We used to work together for hours, and we would pick up anything. It'd be like Brazil fucking versus Uzbekistan combined 11, you know, like it'd be just rad shit. But yeah,
we're on a 6-hour podcast. Dan talk.
We're actually doing a 24-hour stream next. So yeah, let us know what you thought of Adam being on the podcast. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and we'll catch you later.